Hi, welcome to my first video of this channel. Today I'm going to share with you my bullet journal setup for March. The theme I chose is lake, and I mainly use blue and purple color for this month. For the start, I'm going to draw a bottom-up view of the forest clearing above the lake. I use a blue chalk to color the background, then I smear it smoothly using paper. For the words March, I chose a little playful and relaxing font for it. Then I drew the silhouette of the tree leaves that is looking from bottom up view. I'm using my Tombow dark grey brush to draw these outlines. When I'm done with the outline, I fill them up to show the shadow. I go around the border again to give it more defined shape using the fine tip of my Tombow brush. Then I draw silhouette of birds flying out from the tree leaves into the sky. I like the idea of how the shadow of the birds blend into the tree leaves and slowly become more distinct. I finish up the page with a little bit more of this irregular border. The next page is the calendar of the month. I use this page to get an overview of events of what is happening within the month. I started it by drawing the background of a forest with the lake in front. I use purple for distant object and blue for the nearer objects. I recolor the background using the chalk and then smear it repetitively until I get a tone, a gentle shade. And then some more defined lines to show that they are a very distant tree. And use my Stabilo purple pastel purple highlighter to draw over the trees. I really enjoy doing the tree branches. They are quite cute. I added bushes in front of the trees. They look rather 2D at first, but to make the ink look darker, I need to wait for it to dry before I go on a second layer. Otherwise, it will just soak too much and bleeds to the other page. Now I use blue color highlighter to draw the bushes in front and then draw the details of the lake. I did a little bit of different thing. That is, I used my blue chalk to color the ground instead of the lake. And I smudged them with paper again, and I added rocks, pebbles, leaves using my blue highlighter. I used this Sakura Koi brush. It's the same brush I used for my March word to go over the lines slightly. Now I'm running the second layer over these bushes and objects to give it a darker shade. And then I'm going to draw the calendar, but first I drew borders around. I'm going to use these ribbon borders quite often for this month. Initially, I intended to split grids of the calendar with these crosses, but I learned the hard way that I'm really bad at counting the grids and I made many mistakes. I only noticed the mistakes when I wrote down the dates and had to go with it. I added 3 leaves and then just covered it with black ink and run white fonts above it. I like to keep my calendar consistent each month to have 6x7 grid outline layout. Okay, that's when I start to realize I made a lot of mistakes when I start writing the dates. I even counted the grids vertically wrongly. That's where all my crosses went haywire. I regretted it a lot. And since it still looks very confusing, I use a white color pen to draw across this vertical line to make it more distinct, and it looks much clearer to me. This is a lesson learned for me to not draw crosses to split the grids again. And I'm done with my calendar. I leave one page blank behind my calendar. This leaves me some space to stick memorable tickets or notes using my washi tapes. And then the next page is my travel log, where I track the places I've explored that month and what I feel about them. For example, what good food some restaurants serve. I write all of them down within this page. I find this page helpful to remind me of the places I've been to so that I can refer to them when I want to revisit some places to get certain objects. But due to COVID-19 outbreak, I've not been traveling out very often. However, I would still like to keep this page if I happen to come across somewhere interesting. I used these tiny water droplets to split between the venue I went and the description of that place. I thought the title was a bit bare, so I just added an underline and I just underlined it and the cattail. The next page is my habit tracker. I started it with a background of a very plain looking lake. I smeared purple, blue, and white chalk together. More purple and white just to blend them lighter at certain places and smear them. From the camera it looks as if the color has disappeared, but in real life I can still shades of blue and purple around. The gradient was really light. I added more blue to give the lake more defined shape and smear it. And that's my background. I've been bullet journaling for almost a year and have explored various layouts that suits my need over the months. In this month, I just want to track an overview of my habits so I keep everything together on a single page. I mainly track 3 categories: lifestyle, keeping in touch with the close ones, and my health. I use mini calendars to track my habits and have to draw the days from Sunday to Saturday for each of these calendars. And I chose this cursive looking font. It's not exactly cursive because I've not learned it before. I might learn it one day. To write the activity of it, what I want to track for each mini calendar. And I use my wax pastel to draw mini circles for each day, which took me very long to complete. However, I'm very satisfied. I was very satisfied with the results as they look very cute. My light blue wax pastel couldn't be seen on the outlines where my lake is. I have to go over it again using a dark blue pastel. Okay, so if I did a habit for that day, I either put a cross on those mini circles or I write an initial of the activity in it. The initial of the activity is written in legend beside the mini calendar, and I'm done with my habit tracker. The next is my favorite spread of each month, which is the mood tracker. This month I'm trying a new layout that splits my mood into 2 parameters per day. My x-axis will be the level of positivity and my y-axis will be the level of energy I felt. I really like the sound of the chalk. And my paper smash the chalk. It sounds so calming. It took quite some time to dab all of the chalk into the page, either the page or the tissue paper. Okay, so I'm tracking my mood in 2 parameters. I would need a square box for each day that is symmetrical vertically and horizontally so that I can split them into 4 equally spaced quadrants. My vertical lines, I use my white pen to go over the lines, but I can see them very clearly in real life, although they don't really show up in the camera. I'm going to draw bubbles into these square boxes to indicate where my mood is. Big bubbles represent that I'm feeling that mood a lot, and small bubbles represent that I'm feeling that emotion, that mood quite a little. I again draw this irregular border around my mood tracker and write down the legend of how I'm going to track it in this square page. So I wrote negative, energized, positive, and calm. So towards my left will be negative, towards my right will be positive, towards the top will be energized, and towards the bottom will be calm. Right in the middle or the center means neutral for that day. I really like this layout because it allows me to express more than just sad or happy, and it also allows me to track more than one emotions within the day. The result of this page looks like it is in the middle. It's underwater of the lake. Then I start my first weekly spread. I decided to use Cattail as my first weekly planner. I first draw the background and smudge in shades of purple and blue. I don't really use clear border for my weekly planner. I prefer to use objects to act as border. For example, in this weekly spread, I'm going to use the cattail that I mentioned to split the days vertically, and these three colors, white, purple, blue, to split the days horizontally. There, my horizontal border is complete. Now I'm drawing my vertical border using my highlighter. I use the same method to draw the dates, which is a black background and overlay it with white fonts. I just use the initial to represent the day of the week. And this month I wanted to try to write down the most reoccurring thoughts within the day to track what I'm thinking for each week. The next page is my food log. I keep my food log page the same layout every month, every week, so that it's easy for me to track what I've eaten. They are just rows of borders with some image at the left corner followed by the date. This is a boring but practical layout. I use this to log down the food, which restaurant I've eaten, what brand, and what time I took my food. It helps me be more aware of my meals, which I easily forget within a day. And when I have stomach discomfort, this food log helps me to trace possible reasons easily. Last one, and then I write my day and my date. I make sure I leave a lot of space to write my food, because sometimes it can get really long. And then did the same for the second week, the third week, using dragonfly as theme, in my fourth week, a fence lake, and my fifth week, which are just rocks within the water. Lastly, I add a spread to check in for the month. It acts as a review of what I've learned, how I felt for that month. I used the same header style as I did for my travel log. Same underline, same pattern, but I drew 4 ponds with water dripping into each other, and each pond represents one category that I want to track. I split this page into two sessions. Another sessions will be the things or tasks that I'll be carrying forward through the next month. The 4 categories that I like to check in are my successes, my interpersonal relationship status, my health condition, and how I perform acts of self-love. When all is done, I add a label to the calendar page, which is just a small piece of washi tape. And I can flip to that page easily. That's all for my March setup. Thank you for watching. Bye!